You ever get one of those 401k statements in the mail, or more likely in your email, and think, okay, this looks official, but what does any of it mean? Same. For a long time I just glanced at the number, checked if it went up, and moved on. I didn't really think about how the money inside my 401k was being managed, or that fees were quietly nibbling away at it. So today I want to walk you through the stuff most of us ignore, but probably shouldn't. Because understanding how your 401k is run can help you keep more of your money and make smarter moves long term. Let's start with this. Every 401k has some costs. It's not free to run a plan or to invest money. But the thing is, these costs often aren't visible in big bold letters. So where do they show up? Well, the plan usually charges administrative fees to cover things like record keeping, legal services, customer support, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Kind of like how you pay an HOA fee to keep your neighborhood clean, even if you never use the pool. Now sometimes your employer pays for these, but other times, those fees come out of your account, either as a flat fee for everyone or a percentage based on how much money you have in the plan. And yes, generally the more bells and whistles your plan has, the higher the cost. Access to live reps, fancy retirement tools, and investment advice. Someone's paying for that, and often it's you. Okay, here's the big one, investment fees. These are the costs charged by the funds you're invested in. You don't see them as line items because they're baked into the returns. The fund earns money, deducts its fee, and you get what's left. So if your fund made 7% but had a 1% fee, you're only seeing 6% growth. And here's the kicker. Those fees may seem small, like 0.5% or 1%, but over 30 years they can eat away tens of thousands of dollars. It's like termites in your financial house. Tiny, quiet, but devastating over time. So when you pick funds, don't just look at performance. Always check the expense ratio. Lower is better, all else being equal. Now here's something I didn't know when I started. If you use certain features in your 401k, you might get charged extra. These are called individual service fees. Think of them like convenience fees. Taking a loan from your 401k might be a fee for that. Want overnight shipping of a paper check? That's extra. Using a fancy self-directed investing window? Yep, there's probably a charge. You don't pay these unless you use the feature, but it's worth knowing they exist, so you're not surprised. Here's something that tripped me up when I made my first fund transfer. The timing of your transaction really matters. Most 401k plans run on a daily schedule tied to the US stock market. That means if you request a change before 4 p.m. Eastern, it gets processed using that day's closing prices. But if you make a move at 4:01 p.m., that gets pushed to the next day's prices. So if the market drops after you submit your request, that timing could work for or against you. It's kind of like ordering tickets right before prices surge. You want to know when the window opens and closes. Another thing you'll run into are trading frequency restrictions. These are basically rules that say, hey, don't treat this like a day trading account. If you jump in and out of the same fund too often, the fund might block you from reinvesting in it for a while. Why? Because it messes with the fund's long-term strategy. They don't want a bunch of short-term moves that throw off their balance. So if you move money out of a fund today, some plans might say, cool, but don't even think about coming back for 30 days. And no, this doesn't apply to new contributions or loan repayments, just transfers between funds. But it's a good reminder that a 401k is built for long-term investing, not frequent flipping. Some funds add one more twist, redemption fees. Here's how that works. Let's say you move money into a fund and then pull it back out a few days later. That fund might hit you with a fee, say 2%, because they want you to stick around. It's like a club that charges you if you leave too soon after buying a drink. The idea is to encourage long-term investing. But again, it's another reason why you want to understand the rules before you move your money around. Let's wrap with something that's super easy to ignore. All those plan emails and statements your employer sends, they actually matter. Because they tell you what's happening with your account, your balance, your contributions, the fees you're paying, even your rights as a plan participant. You'll get things like benefit statements, quarterly or annually, depending on whether you choose your investments. Summary plan description, SPD. This is like the user manual for your 401k. It's not light reading, but it's important. Blackout notices. These warn you when you won't be able to make changes for a while, like during a system upgrade. All of this might sound dry, but it's your money. And understanding what these communications mean, it gives you control. So here's the big takeaway from today. A 401k isn't just a bucket for savings, it's a system, one with rules, fees, timing windows, and fine print. The more you understand it, the more confident and strategic you'll be. Next time you get a plan, email, or statement, don't just hit archive, take 5 minutes, read it. You might spot something important, something that helps you make a better decision, something that protects your money. Alright, that's it for today. On the next episode, we'll dig into what actually shows up on a 401k statement and how to read it like a pro. Until then, stay curious, stay consistent, and keep investing in future you.